This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, you are the real star of today's show. Happy Monday to everybody out there, and I hope you had a great weekend. I did all sorts of cool stuff this weekend. Like my brother was away this weekend, and when he came back last night, I was trying to remember everything that I had done. But it was a great weekend of fun. So I hope you all had the same. Did some racing over the weekend, worked on cars over the weekend, hung out with friends over the weekend, watched a bunch of TV. I had so much going on this weekend. To be honest with you, I didn't get to watch a single minute of football. The Niners-Vikings game was on in a restaurant that I was eating at up on the TV. So I kind of saw it out of my corner of my eye, and I couldn't even see the score. But that's how great my weekend was, that I didn't even get to watch any football. So I don't even know who won or lost, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter. I had too much fun. We worked on the Porsche, got that much closer to being able to race. We had to call off the February race. We're just not going to make it, but we will make March. In February, we will make a test day at the track, but it won't be till March that we get to race the car. So we worked on that. Our car, it's so badass. We have a piece of junk 924 that is going to be running very well, though. I shouldn't even call it a piece of junk anymore. But we actually have, not only do we have telemetry in the car, because, we're high-tech people, we actually are going to have the telemetry messaging to the pits. So the driver isn't even going to have to watch the car. Everybody in the pits will be watching over the car, which is like, what, F1? I mean, what level of racing do you normally have to be at to get telemetry radioed in to the pits? Not only will it do that, I had so much fun this weekend, so I'm going to just talk about it in a moment. But you can have sensors. So let's say that we set a water temperature alarm for 220 degrees, 225. If it hits an alarm, I can actually make it call everyone's cell phone. So if I'm over getting a snack or something, my phone will light up telling me that our car is now breaking the temperature alarm. That's how cool the stuff we're putting on our car is. Anyway, so that's what I did all day Saturday. And then Sunday, we did Daytona 24 practice, even though I'm not going to be able to make the race. I feel so bad for letting the team down. My leaving is part of why we had to drop down to one car instead of two cars. So very unfortunate, but I always say life gets in the way. But I did practice with the guys and I had a lot of fun with that. And then we did our first F3 race, which I'll talk about at the end of the show a little bit. I did not have a great race, but I did have a great time. I turned it into an ice cream eating session, which was kind of entertaining for me. But anyway, so that's all that went on for me beyond preparing for today. And so I'm going to give a little warning. If the doorbell rings, I'm going to leave the show. I'll leave the show rolling. I just have to answer the door if it rings. We'll know because the dog will bark. But I am expecting a 3D printer, and I'm not missing the delivery. I am going to camp out at the door all day long waiting. I know it's coming today. I just don't know when. Anyway, that's the end of that. Let's move on to the news. How are you guys? What are you guys up to? Of course, if there's anything questions you have of me, just hit 5 or 10 question marks and then give me your question. That way I'll see it in the chat. If you have a statement that you think I just need to see for sure, hit me with a bunch of exclamation marks. And of course, be sure to thumbs up the show if you like what we're doing, thumbs down if you don't. And if you give us a thumbs down, I appreciate it. The best thing you could do is send me an email, Shaun, SHAUN, at thesimpit.com, just to let me know what we could do better. And of course, I'll plug one more thing before we move on to the news, that being that we are live on Twitch. We are at Simpit Live on Twitch, and we're there usually for a pre- and post-game on our pit stop. We're usually there for the practice before the race, and today we'll be live at Simpit Live building that 3D printer when it comes in, whenever it comes in. So, hey, because, some products they won't drop it at the door unless you answer the door. So I don't know the circumstances of this, but I'm not missing my delivery. Cranky Pants asks which printer. I got a Creality Ender 5 Plus, which is their larger format of the small home type printers. 350 by 350 by 400 print format, which is rather large from what I saw. I saw a lot of 200, 220, 240 size. that wouldn't be big enough for some of the things I have in mind. I mean, my LED strip on its own was 10.5, 11 inches long. So that was going to push the boundaries of a lot of printers right off the bat. Anyway, all right, on with the news. So, a couple of things. Over the weekend, as we've realized, or come to realize, the Roar before the 24 was the old name multi-class single-person race that used to go on. Anyway, they've kind of changed the dynamics. The Roar before doesn't seem to exist in the same way, and now what we have is the BMW race, the BMW 120, isn't that what they're calling it? The BMW 120 Daytona. So it's 2 hours at Daytona. So one post here, and this is pretty awesome. And one thing we didn't show or cover a lot of when we talked about the media day with all the NASCAR best of best in iRacing NASCAR is that a lot of those guys were invited out with Dale Earnhardt. So if you look at individual posts of the drivers, we saw a lot about Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the sim racing world over the weekend, including this post here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. himself ran my first ever endurance race on iRacing today with TJ Majors. So he and his longtime spotter teamed up. And TJ, if you don't know the story, TJ, who was the spotter for Dale Earnhardt for many years, they met sim racing. A lot of people who were friends of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the sim racing world went on to take jobs or become friends with him in real life. Dale Earnhardt's always been that way with the people. I mean, he becomes very close friends with people he races with, TJ Majors being one of them. Anyway, they teamed up together to run the BMW 120, and they qualified 18th out of 50 and ended up finishing in 10th place. And they split it halfway through the race. So anyway, congratulations to them. Great to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. taking part in an endurance race. That's it's one thing to go online and race. It's another thing to go on and do any kind of long event that takes a quite amount of a dedication. That's for sure. Came down to fuel saving. Yeah, if you're trying to do one pit stop, 1 hour is usually a little bit of a challenge for most cars. They usually time the cars to run out of fuel somewhere around 55 minutes. So getting a full hour out of the car is kind of essential to having a good outcome. But anyway, going on to win the event was Maximilian Wennig and Maximilian Benecke. The double Max team, they went on to win the big server, and they are the winners. And congratulations on $1,200 per driver and a ticket to their end-of-the-year event in Munich. So a little bit of prize on that individual small event that you could do from home, by the way. That wasn't just like, you didn't have to go anywhere to win that $1,200 each. So congratulations that's Team Redline, by the way. They call it a $3,600. So what did I miss there in translation? Maybe that's what no, it wouldn't be adapting. It would go the other way. Anyway, Nikki Theme, he did it. Yep, fuel saving, gotcha. Yeah, it's very true. You do need to have a wife and family who's going to allow you to do such a thing. So anyway, congratulations to Team Redline and the Maxes. R Factor also kind of getting into the spirit of the Daytona in the beginning and the kickoff of racing. Yeah, David Payne, it is, but it is racing at the same time. It isn't. It's a shame when it comes down to that, but it is racing. But anyway, R Factor posting 5 hours ago, the 2020 IMSA season is about to kick off. It should say off, not of, later this month. It's rare that I get to correct somebody on their spelling or punctuation or pronunciation. Before we enjoy seeing the real cars on track, you can take the new 2020 BMW Motorsport M8 GT liveries out for a spin, now in R Factor 2. So it looks like there was updated liveries to match the 2020 IMSA season, which again is kicking off later this month. Very exciting times for racing fans, because even though it seems like NASCAR ended just yesterday, this is kind of getting into the beginning of the season, which admittedly, even here for Southern California, like I'm thinking about the race we're not going to make at the end of February. I ran this race last year, and it was like 24 degrees at night and 36 degrees during the day. It was very, very cold, very winter to begin racing. What else? So I've talked about the Dirt Rally championships that went on. I caught it at one point, like I was scrolling on my Facebook yesterday, I think it was, and I did see it, but I was in the middle of a million other things, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I did see it being fed from Thrustmaster, from Codemasters. I think even Playseat was doing it as well. Those are some of their big sponsors. But this is the moment, and spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know who won, if you are going to go back and watch the replay of the Dirt World Series Rally Championship, they call it, this was the announcement of the winner. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Let's go ahead and turn our Windows audio on.
14.669 is the time to be Robin Johnson. Give it absolutely everything. Lurking with disaster there as he took the bonus, but so far he looks on track to potentially do it. Here he comes up the banking through the final corner. Give him a round of applause as he comes across the line. There he goes. Has he done it? Jesse, oh no, I think he has. Give it a 15. He's not done it. You're the president.
Oh, you're missing the action.
I don't believe it. Oh, Robin Johnson. 15. Has he done it? Jesse, oh no, I think he has. Give it a 15. He's not done it. You're the president. He's the world champion.
SDL Juna P was crowned Dirt Game World Series Rally Champion at the Autosport Show. Congratulations to him, and I think we had another thing here. Here we go. No. Sorry. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. This is some of the rally action that was going on. Look at these guys go. Awesome. Almost Steve Harvey did. Oh. And the winner of the Dirt Rally Championship was Ollie Pokala. Oh, wait, no, he wasn't even in it. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Here's another one. Oh, that's
your mistakes. You've had to wait. The emotion coming out now. What a relief.
Penkonen.
It's a very interesting system.
Jonah Penkonen is now a Dirt 4 World Champion and a Dirt Rally 2.0 World Series Rally Champion.
I had to wait that 3 minutes.
This guy is the king of Codemasters Dirt. That is for sure. Winning both championships.
Some people have won it.
This is the post of him talking about it on Dirt Rally 2.0.
A word for your competitor here.
I'm going to turn Windows audio off. Sorry about that. Turn my disclaimer off. And anyway, big moment for him. Looks like he's part of the Logitech G team, if I'm not mistaken, by that jersey. And what else? What else do we have to talk about? Another article here just talking about last stage drama decides Dirt Rally 2.0 series. So motorsport.com getting in on the topic, crowning him champion as well. This was a pretty big deal out there in the world of eSport. Now, what wasn't a big deal, by the way, from 72,000 entries, the top 6 gamers from each discipline, so that being Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, battled out on the eSports stage for their share of the $10,000 prize pool. You know, that's a little bit of a disappointment when I consider the amount of posts, the amount of action, the amount of production, the amount of videos, the amount of streams that I've seen regarding this. You would think there'd be a little more than 10 grand on the line, and that's a prize pool. That's not 10,000 to the winner. That's 10,000 split amongst the winner. Anyway. Hey, Raul, how you doing? All right, what else? Wet weather driving got you under a cloud? Get to grips with racing in the rain with our new guide. So this is posted by Formula One Game. If you go to Twitter, Formula One Game, you'll see a post there. It's by Codemasters, Cody's blog. F1 2019 Setup for Glory, Part 4, Wet Weather Driving. So if Cody's is one of your favorite flavors, one of your favorite flavors of ice cream, and you want to know a little more on how to set things up for the rain, specifically, that guide could help you out a little bit. Yeah, Devon, they spent all the money in the F1 series. Well, you know, here's the other thing. They carried with them on this event multiple sponsors. So Thrustmaster, Playseat were 2 of them. And it almost feels like all they did was allow them to equip them with wheels and rigs versus saying, hey, it's going to also cost you money because we need to give away more than 10 grand to be legitimate. Thunder, hey, all you've missed is us just BSing about sim racing. Nothing too big, nothing too major, but we've been having fun. SimRacing Source asks, serious question for me. Do I think that SimRacing eSports are to a point yet where people actually want to buy team-branded items? I don't, but curious what I think. Dan, I don't think we're there yet, but I could see us getting to that point relatively soon. And I think you're right. I think it might be team-branded items first. Like, I don't know. I would wear a Team Redline jersey, just to show my support for the team. I would wear a VRS or Coanda jersey just to show my support. I would certainly. So I think that in certain cases, we're probably very close to it. In the not too distant future, I think as the esports scene gets a little more repeated. See, right now, an ACR shirt. I think right now we're at a cool point because with F1 2019, 2020, for example, we're now into our third year, and some of the names are starting to become familiar. When you're looking at the flip side for like iRacing Peak Antifreeze series, where some of the names are becoming more and more familiar, I can see definitely us getting to a point where somebody wants to wear a Michael Conti shirt or a Verstappen Norris jersey, maybe a commemorative jersey from the double max win, at the 120, something like that. I could see something like that taking on, but not yet. I don't think we're there just yet. I'd see myself wearing that Logitech jersey before I'd want to wear a Jonah Pankonen jersey, and I think that is sort of true of real life sports too. But as these guys' names become more familiar, that will change just like real life branding goes. Team Redline. Yeah, absolutely. There is a Team Redline sim. Yes. Hey, Lionheart, how you doing? I'd rock a Conti shirt too, by the way. I would. I'd show my support for SimRacing Champions. I would. I'd be a leader in this. I've stopped where, I used to when I was into conventional sports. I mentioned not watching any of the football. I've owned various jerseys with various players' names on them in the past. Taz Trip now following us on Twitch. Thank you very much. So I've done it in the past, and I would do it in the future. And why not? I would rather make our SimRacing champions and put them up on a pedestal than some of the real life champions, by the way. So, anyway, that's where we are. Wet weather. What else? Public lobbies are now available in Grid. I told you that was happening. That happened today. So with today's, hey, Shaun of Pro Sim Racing, how you doing? I would wear shirts for every company in sim racing if I, what's funny, I was wearing a Drive Club shirt on yesterday's streams during my racing. What's really stupid, and I'll say it's stupid, it's really stupid that every sim racing company out there hasn't sent me a t-shirt. Just out of just plain old smarts. Because I'd end up wearing them on the stream, funny enough, with or without them being sponsored the show. But like, Drive Club doesn't give me any money, but I wore a Drive Club shirt because it's sim. And sure, I like wearing my Simpit shirts on the show. I like wearing my sponsors' shirts when I'm on the show. But I'll give a free plug on a driving day just to, I have a race room shirt that I wear occasionally. I had an iRacing shirt, but it got too dirty and I had to throw it away. So anyway, I'm to the point where I would definitely wear company shirts, looking at a first stage of what we would do. Oh, thank you, Devon. Thank you. Yes, we are live both on Twitch and on YouTube. YouTube being the green screen version where you can actually see the news I'm talking about. Twitch being a little behind the scenes, and right now Twitch is sort of at a disadvantage. So they're just kind of seeing me from multiple angles, but not really seeing what you guys are seeing on camera here at YouTube. Okay, wet weather. We already talked about that, right? Yep, we already talked about wet weather. Grid lobbies, we mentioned that. Free update for Grid is now available. This is as of 5 hours ago. Now available on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Download the update for the new session search feature, which allows you to search for and enter multiplayer lobbies created by other players. For example, I could go host a Grid room, and you guys could join my room specifically. Awesome. Lionheart, you're going to have to send me one of those for sure. For sure. What else? Forza also. It's time for round 3 of the qualifiers for the Le Mans eSport series. Set the fastest time in the Forza Motorsport 7 Rivals event at my favorite track on earth, Silverstone GP, in the Mazda 787B. Now, if there is a combination that's got to be fun and truly historic and awesome, it would be running that 787B. Oh, well, we're not at Le Mans. We're at Silverstone. But the top Rivals event players for that that will qualify for the Le Mans eSport. There's a how-to. So if you go to Forza Motorsport on Twitter, you can click on the whole how to compete, teams and individuals, what to do. But that first competition is coming up. Boom. Now you know. This isn't really news as much as it was kind of a funny. I'm going to hit play. I'm not going to do the audio on this, but you can go check it out if you want to. Oh, apparently we are doing the audio. So Gran Turismo posted this video. Biggest moaner? Best nickname? Get to know the guys who make up the FIA GTC Manufacturer Series History Makers Team Mercedes. So there you go. You can find out of these guys. I guess they're all kind of giving each other a hard time, but it's a get to know, and it sounds like they have a little bit of humor. What's your favorite Gran Turismo track? You'll find out this kind of stuff from these guys, which could be a cool watch for you guys if you're at work and bored and just needing something to see. Let's see. I'm sorry, I was just looking at something. Hey, Derek Spear, welcome to the show. I sent you a message. Okay. All right. Moving right along. I'm checking multiple things. WRC, the official game. The career mode has been one of the most appreciated features of WRC 8. That's awesome. And there's another story I read talking about how most sports games have kind of like killed the single player mode. And we're talking mass sports games, you know. But anyway, what they're asking, what improvement would you make if you had the power? I got to tell you, I love these types of questions coming from the people in our industry when they're actually listening. They're actually saying, hey, what can we do better? I say at the beginning of the show, if you give me a thumbs down, that's fine. But send me an email and tell me what we could do better. You know, that helps. I love when people are listening. I'm always listening with this show, trying to make it better for the community that we've built for the show. I'm going to give a big pat on the back to WRC8 for just having this post, and I can only assume that if they posted it, they're listening. Anyway, if you could make an improvement to the career mode of WRC8, what would it be? Wonder if that'll have an impact on WRC9. It sure could. Definitely could. All right. Thrustmaster, I talked about this. This was one of the entry points into that Le Mans eSport competition. So check this out. Oh, that's not the photo. They did this at the Autosport show, and the top 3 were going to gain entry into the Le Mans eSport Series qualifiers. So this was one of those entry points. You know, I just told you guys you had to jump on Forza. You had to post at, oh, look, 78C. Now we have some target times even. They ran the same competition that the public's now going to run, that being the 787B Mazda Rotary at Silverstone. And looks like Jay O'Grady won the competition with a lap time of a 1:43.457. L. Fletcher in second with a 1:43.698. And A. Brow finishing in third with a 1:43.970. So that was the competition that we had talked about on Friday, I think. Awesome, Digger. Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, I'm looking at all the chat. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. That is awesome. I applaud you on doing that. It's part of what carries and makes this show so great. I mean, I've always said it's not only about the news, but it's about us having sim racing conversation. And if this is the place that we can all chat, that's awesome. If anything is directed to me, but of course, hit me with some question marks if it's a question. Hit me with some exclamation marks if it's a statement, just so I can see it amongst the other chat. Because I am trying to read the news, watch the stream, watch the updates, watch the live feed, and watch the comments, and bring you the news all at the same time. Anyway, Humble is talking about the Ducati 90th anniversary. So this is actually made or developed by the guys who made Ride. And this is the Ducati 90th anniversary is provided via Steam for Windows. A free Steam account is required. So anyway, this is in celebration of the 90th anniversary of the Ducati brand. Did you know that Ducati was actually owned by Volkswagen? Oh, it looks like it's $1.99, by the way. Not sure. On sale for 10 days. Hit me with emojis. Yes, definitely. I don't even know how to do emojis. How do you do the little checkered flag emoji? That's a super cool one. Yeah, Ducati's owned by VW, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's see. I'm going to carefully scroll ahead. What else? Oops, shoot. I went too far. There we go. Okay. I'm going to keep talking about Zwift until somebody buys me one. You want to shut me up about Zwift? Buy me a Zwift trainer. You know, what's cool about Zwift is it's a nice enough trainer that if you have a nice bike, you typically don't put it on most trainers unless it's like rollers. Because they're going to mark up or hurt the bike even. Anyway, Zwift is nice enough that people actually put their super awesome bikes on it. So anyway, this is how to make your smart trainer quieter. I don't own one, so I'm not going to watch it. Do any of you actually ride Zwift? Do any of you... I keep ramming the Zwift down your guys' throat because I think it's like the closest thing to real sim there possibly is. Oh, no kidding, Dark. That's funny. I was actually looking up, what was I looking up? It wasn't Bugatti. I knew Bugatti. We were trying to, Porsche. No, VW had made a statement that they were getting out of petrol motorsports. VW was pulling all racing efforts except for hybrid or electric technology. And I thought, wow, what kind of impact is that going to have? Because VW owns some companies that are very involved in motorsport. So anyway, I was double triple checking myself on that to find out that, they own Ducati as well. That's how I learned that. You're racing for real. Oh, iRacing instead of Zwift. I really, really want a Zwift. Finny McFinger wants a Zwift as well. Ben Craig asks how the Podium compares to Simucube 2. They are very, very similar feel in terms of what you actually feel by the time the force feedback gets to your hands. The biggest differences are software. The biggest differences are compatibility with other points of hardware. I believe the Simucube 2 is a little bit less money for more horsepower. So if you didn't already own a bunch of Fanatic gear, if you go to my review on the Fanatic, one thing I do question is steering wheels. I think when you get to a direct drive wheel, a lot of people are looking for an upgraded steering wheel. As nice as the Fanatic lineup of wheel rims are, they're not pro. They're, I think that's where the line will be drawn, in my opinion, for most sensible purchasers. So if you're already part of the Fanatic family, it's a no-brainer. Podium is the way to go. If you haven't already made that leap, you have a little bit more freedom. That's what I'm saying. They don't make a Zwift for a BMX bike? Is that what you're saying, Steven? Hey, Fat Tank, now following us on Twitch as well. Thank you very much, Fat Tank. Yeah, that's the way I feel. Just get an Accuforce and call it a day. It's less expensive. Again, I keep saying it. There's this fine detail that I get from an Accuforce that I don't get from the other wheels. They are a sponsor, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, the Accuforce for the money. The only reason I would ever say to somebody to not get an Accuforce is if they're just like a big, giant monster force feedback desiring guy. I've driven a lot of real life cars, and some of them will make your hands a little bit tired. Usually it's from over gripping. It's not the amount of strength it actually took to turn the wheel. I've driven open wheel cars. I've driven, street cars converted into race cars. I've driven go-karts. Yes, we have to use the wheel, but I don't think it ever exceeds 10 Newton meters in just about any car you're going to get out there. I'd love to know the real amount of torque on various cars. That would make a great show if we could scientifically find out the answer to that. The amount of torque it takes at the wheel to steer certain cars. I don't know. If anybody knows of anything that tells us that would be some priceless information to sim race. But for me, the Accuforce has been the way to go. Bang for buck. Feeling. It's the only wheel that of the direct drive wheels, it's the only wheel that if you took off my rig and gave me a different direct drive, I would instantly know. I can make that statement for sure as well. All right, Northern Gamer talking about Tabletop Racing World Tour coming to Android and iOS. All sorts of features of this. I'm mentioning this because one thing I am seeing in gaming is a certain dumbing down of certain games because they want them to be compatible to these mobile devices. And, when we think cross-platform, we hope, in the PC world especially, we hope that it never goes beyond Xbox and PlayStation. And if it does, you really probably need to question the level of sim that it is, at least with 2019 technology. In the future, I can see that going up as our mobile devices get stronger and stronger. But Tabletop Racing World Tour coming to Android and iOS. Check this article out. This is at Ars Technica. This simulator company reverse engineered the Tesla Nürburgring lap. I always get mad when I don't get privy to certain information, because when I read down in this article, I'm going to be like, wait, why was I not given an opportunity to play around with this? They started with the in-car video from Laguna Seca lap and went from there. Last summer, a whole lot more people learned about the world's gnarliest racetrack when Tesla announced that it was sending a Model S sedan to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. The 12.9-mile, 20.8-kilometer track was built as a make-work project during the Great Depression, and people still race there today. Tesla, until a full raft of modifications made it to the Model S that set an unofficial time of 7 minutes, 23 seconds. But that hasn't stopped our friends at CXC Simulations from having a go at reverse engineering things in Silco. Do they mean Silicon Valley or something, even though they're not? Anyway, this is a whole article about CXC putting together a scenario with a driver trying to reproduce the Base 51. That's the Sim Center. So Jeff Westphal, pro driver. And anyway, this is a cool article at ARS Technica. You can find out about their whole thing of trying to reproduce. You can see the Tesla. Can we hear it? I'm going to turn up the volume here for you guys.
As we head down to Swedencruise, one of my favorite corners. It's a fast left. We turn in at 160 miles an hour in a GT3 race car. Not quite the same grip here on this Model S on road tires, so we're going to have to scrub some speed as we bend it in. A little bit of an understeer as it floats wide. Big brakes here, full ABS, kind of fighting that lockup into a banking that grows here at the apex.
I got to admit, I think Teslas are really cool, but where's the sound? I mean, I got to tell you, I'm never going to sit well with electric racing. I really miss the sound. Whenever I watch a Tesla video, as awesome as they are, as fast as they might be, where's the sound? I don't care whether you're talking a raunchy, nasty Ferrari, an American V8, or even a snorting turbo. Man, I really, really, really am not entertained watching videos of cars
so you can actually go to throttle quiet
that
in here for this next left, although it is much slower than the previous corner.
that just make a noise. Anyway. Yeah, but then, like, are they going to have a sound competition? It just wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be the same. Anyway, all right, moving right along. What else? Premier Racing Series APAC is looking for drivers to join. So if you're looking for an F1 2019, this was sent in to me, so you can check them out on Discord at H9RNKCQ or signups here. Anyway, the easy way to find it is this is an article at GT Planet in their forum section. So PC Racing, this is the PC version of 2019. If you're looking for a league, they race on Sundays. I'm not sure what that AEDT time is. Time trial tracks. Anyway, you can check it out. There's their calendar for the season, and go do some racing. What else? Planet F1. I talked about this on Friday. Here's another article talking about this. eSport drivers to start trialing F1 rule changes. So Formula One, via F1 2019 or 2020, is going to start working with Codemasters, apparently, or just making the gamers try things. I think they're going to actually get Codemasters to make certain changes so they can run scenarios and try things out in advance of trying them in real life. We can argue all day about sim versus real life, but here's Formula One knowing that it's a lot cheaper to test things out, see how it plays out before you bother implementing it and seeing how it plays out in real life. Electric Audi SUV sounds like something from Star Trek. Yeah. Just the wind noise, yeah, but I like the roar of an engine. If I'm doing 250 kilometers, I want to hear, what? I want to know that thing's about to break. Electric Mustang, downloadable exhaust tones. Well, that's the thing. So in Europe, I think it starts next year even, that any electric car needs to have some synthetic noise-making device. And so what I don't know is there a particular device, or are they going to leave it open to the market? It would be kind of cool if they leave it to the market, and then, I think that's something that people could play with in the future, and that could be kind of cool. That could be cool. Eastern Australian, I don't know, Dark Newt. I figured anybody who does have interest in that series would figure it out, though. Yeah, wouldn't that be weird? So if you were in your autonomous car, sitting in the passenger seat, playing with, well, here, this is a perfect time to bring this up. Alienware concept, UFO, hands-on. A portable gaming machine with a little bit of everything. This is Alienware essentially building a Switch-type device. I believe they said, oh, no, we're not going after Switch. And then I see the device, and it's like, what are you talking about? That looks like a really nice Switch. But anyway, this is the Alienware version of a Switch. So imagine you're in your autonomous car at the driver's seat, and you're sitting there playing a driving game, completely ignoring the road in front of you. That would be a trippy thing to see. Oh my God, porno sounds coming out of the exhaust of your electric car. Your exhaust sound maker. Yeah, Steven, that's true. If they're not on the gas, I mean, like, I'll give you a great example. I was next to, like, an AMG Mercedes, really big AMG Mercedes at a light, and I had my window open. And it was sitting there, and it was pretty dead silent. And then that dude stomped it, and I just heard that, that's a V8. It's essentially a Mercedes, V8, Chevy American V8 type engine. And it sounded just like it once he got on it. It's nothing like the Switch. Looks like it has far more power. Yeah, I would imagine that's where they're going to say the comparison ends, is that it is not It is, but again, that would be very typical. Do we have any specs? It's got USB-C port, 3.5 millimeter audio port. Again, the concept UFO isn't just a game console, but also a proper PC. To that end, a person at the booth continuously hammered that point by showing the machine running a full version of Windows 10, and with good reason. Instead of restricting it to a single game launcher, you can practically launch any game tile from any of several game clients that currently exist on PC. So, yeah, that is basically a mini portable PC. Oh, look, they even have an external. So again, it's going to be interesting to see with Alienware getting into portable devices. But one of my complaints about my tablet, for example, is that it's a tablet and it runs the tablet software. So when I go to a website or something, I can't even look at it the proper way because I actually prefer a web page layout to a portable layout. So that could be a great thing. I mean, that I could see buying one of these for the road instead of my tablet, watching movies, watching things on it, just like I do my tablet, but also having a proper PC to work with. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. Coming from Alienware, I wouldn't think of anything else. I already talked about this we're almost blue in the face talking about Media Day. We've looked at it from several angles. We even talked about the controversy that came from certain comments and shared Media Day and things like this. But anyway, another take, this one being from NASCAR. This is being at enascar.com, so that's the official NASCAR page. And looking at a lot of things that we've already seen. It just goes on and on and on, showing the Media Day, showing different events, the photo ops, showing the Richmond Motorsports meetings going on as they're signing drivers. And it was really a big deal. I'm not trying to downplay it. It's just this is like the fifth time I've talked about it now, so I'm kind of getting over the story to an extent. Zero asks, yeah, how long's the battery going to last? That's a great question. You crank up what that thing's doing and how, I mean, yeah, good question. And it has a SIM card so you can get some 5G. Yeah, I mean, again, if you think about mobile platforms, you think about, there's been a push by the industry to get rid of the PC computer, I think, for a long time. And what they failed to realize is the desktop, the PC, will have a place in the corporate world for a very long time. It's going to be very hard to switch a desktop PC for a mobile tablet. Like, you wouldn't want your company to have mobile tablets in lieu of computers. Like, you kind of want it anchored, I think, to a point. You can make the computer smaller and smaller and smaller and make the desk sit there on the desk, the monitor. But I think there has been a push on the gaming side to get rid of the PC for a long time. Getting the horsepower out of these devices, getting the battery life out of these devices, I think has been the single hurdle to preventing them from doing it. But yeah, I'm not even looking forward to cloud gaming. I mean, a lot of the current trends are things that for sim racers in particular, we don't want to see. I don't need cloud gaming. That's not going to help lag any. That's not going to help netcode contact any. So forget cloud gaming as far as I'm concerned. In 2020, I mean, we'll get there. I mean, at some point, you think about it, if you really think about it, our 4G or 5G connections are a lot better than when we used to measure our internet in baud. So if you had a 14.4 baud, what did they call those things? Anyway, we're already old man yelling at cloud gaming. All right, what else? Operation Sports talking about the Game of the Year awards cap. I think this is where I wrote, worst trend in sports games in 2019. Single-player modes getting shafted. And my brother's been playing a lot of the 2019 sports titles, and he's been telling me this time after time that the single-player modes are not well thought out. they're missing aspects that they needed to have, and there's this whole push to the, multiplayer gaming. And I just think, man, do we all modems? That's what they're called. That's right. Do we really always want everything to be multiplayer? I mean, I ask you guys that question. I know, like, for me as a sim racer, I demand multiplayer. But at the same time, am I ready to say that I want the gaming world to be so multiplayer that single player campaigns don't exist anymore? Awesome, Rockjaw. Yeah, we come here from time to time, but yes. Anyway, moving on. Best racing game of the year goes to F1 2019, and the best alternate sport game is Lonely Mountains Downhill. I'm gonna have to go check that out. A downhill mountain biking game that looks like Red Bull Rampage almost. Anyway, yes, Izzy, your name has been there a long time. It shows you how little donations I get. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I didn't mean that at all, you guys. All right, what else? Or maybe it's something they need to split to an extent. I think I'd even be okay with certain titles having two variations and different pricing structures. Downhill mountain biking is a good analogy for your life. I'm sorry, Izzy. Oh, it's always in that view, Rockjaw? It's always in that third-person view? All right, what else? WRC8 available, the new WRC mods to update graphics and physics. This was posted at Driving Italia. I had somehow missed this. I thought we covered WRC. I didn't realize there was a new update 8.03, or maybe we already covered it. That's entirely possible. But physics mods, effective gravity on the car, adjust the car's angular momentum. So some big updates, bug fixes as well. Updated reflections and things like that. So they continue to increase and make WRC 8 better. And don't forget, they are listening. They are listening. And it looks like, we're to the end of the news. Let's talk about us. Shaun Seabrand's here, Pro Sim Racing. Thank you very much for carrying the torch and continuing the Assetto Corsa series at SimRacing Systems. And for yesterday's, actually it was Thursday's race, Luke Sky was on the pole for Road America. Look at that beautiful Mazda paint job. I love it. And you can check out the whole video of the Mazda 787 series, speaking of the 787, at Road America at Pro Sim Racing on YouTube. So you can see Shaun here getting ready to start his his stream. And here they are at Road America, which is where we ran too, coincidentally. At the end of the race, it was Austin Ogonowski crossing the line in P1 at Road America. And that will earn him 102 points, it looks like. So anyway, that is the results from the race. Austin Ogonowski over James Leader, with Oscar Pink finishing in third. And then here are the standings after 4 events. Austin Ogonowski in the lead with 388 points. Shaun Seabrand in second, and Bernardo Gill. And if you want to check that out, go check out SimRacing System. Great place where you can do some multiplayer racing for Assetto Corsa and for Race Room, and you could even join the Simpit Pro Sim Racing Mazda 787 series. Still 2 more races to go, and then Shaun will pick a new combination for next season starting up in 3 weeks. Couple rigs. Let's check out some rigs. Going to be at Watkins Glen Boot. Awesome. We're finishing our season, I think, in the Formula 3 over there. Anyway, here's a DIY racing rig. There is a true Deathmobile. This guy's running it in VR with, he's just got himself a Logitech wheel, but look at how little space that takes. Gotta love it. He can even cut off the back tail. He has that seat so pushed forward. But anyway, Garcia Mark posted this one, a true Deathmobile. Gotta love it. In addition to that, check this thing out. Count the electrical motors for starters. By my count, I see 8 electric motors on this thing. Looks like he's got electric seat tensioners. He's got I want to call this the windshield wiper motor technique, but this is not. This is a really unique design. You got 6 degrees of freedom. This is like one of those Cruden style movements, but in a much simpler way. Anyway, this is absolutely one of the most elaborate setups I've ever seen. This one posted by Gus on Reddit. And, dude, if you're going to buy that many motors, you might want to upgrade that Fanatic CSL base. I don't know, just or even more importantly, that CSL wheel rim, for sure. Yeah, that thing's crazy, though. In addition to that, look at this. This is not an event. I saw this and I thought, what? Is this like a media day thing at Codemasters or something? This was posted by Nextbox, my game room. I know there are better rigs out there, but I wanted multiple setups. Makes for some wicked game nights. How cool would that be if you had that in your house and you had 3 or 4 sim racing friends who would come over and you guys could do multiplayer races like you're playing Daytona USA in the article. I mean in the past in the arcade. Pull between the legs on the because he's in a play seat. Yeah, play seat. That's not a very elaborate rig for how awesome. Do you guys realize this whole platform is hovering up in the air? You realize that, right? That thing's looks like it's a couple feet up in the air. Anyway, all right, there's the sim room. Now, let's talk about, what do we got? Oh, this is Devon Booth. Devon Booth is starting up a couple of racing series with the Simpit patron group with the Logically gaming community. So this is going to be a mixed community racing environment that is starting up on the 19th. So we're 6 days away from the first race, this being Sunday Night Mazda Series, and that's one that you can join. So if you want to just look up Sunday Night Mazda Series, you'll be able to join that. They're running Okayama this coming week. And in addition to that, Devon is also doing the Tuesday Night Mustang Series. So again, if you're looking for some racing on iRacing, you want to hang out with Devon Booth, the Logically gaming community, you want to hang out with some of the Simpit patron guys, I will be there when I can make it for either of these series as well. I'm going to join them both. In fact, can we just join? How do I join? You know, it's funny. I'm always doing apply. I'm going to apply to this league right now. Yes, I want in. I want to race in the Tuesday Night Mustang Series. Almost need to set up a shifter, and I definitely want to run in the Sunday Night Mazda Series. So I'm going to apply to both of those right now and start racing with those guys this week. In addition to that, I want to talk about the Simpit Dallara F3 Series. We had our first race yesterday at Road America. If you want to check it out from my perspective, there is a video yesterday posted on Simpit, the Simpit Dallara F3 Series. I crashed on the very start of the race. There was an incident. I got caught up in it. And it took forever to tow. I sat there kind of just chatting with the group, and then I decided, because people are harassing me or telling me to get back out there, that I would get back out there. So I did, and I started racing my ass off again and having a good time, and racing with had a really good race with Mike. And then I made another mistake and crashed, and there was very little time left in the race, so I decided to turn the whole stream into, are you ready for this? All right, I'm going to tease it. Here we go. What did Shaun do to finish the race?
It is dryers.
I'm eating ice cream. I wasn't racing. I was eating ice cream. That's what I did. Anyway, I want to congratulate Andrew Leach on winning the race. Amir Assad finished in second, with Randall White finishing in third. And today is Monday. Today is the day that iRacing changes the track. So the iRacing Dallara F3 Series is actually going to Road Atlanta this week. They'll be running at all the practice rooms, all the racing lobbies will be running Road Atlanta. Well, that's where we are running this Sunday. However, I am not going to be able to make the race. I'm not going to be in town this weekend. I am going to Reno, going to Lake Tahoe. So I will not be able to make it, but I encourage everybody to join this series as well. I'm already a member. I don't need to join this one, but just go to the league section. So all sorts of cool racing with the Simpit community coming forward. We're going to keep going with Friday night fun, maybe even bring back some Monday Fun Day. But for today, Monday Fun Day is going to be about building a printer. And this Friday, I'm going to be out of town, so I won't be able to do it. I'm sure the Simpit community will through their Patreon patron and Discord channel. So always incentive to join our Simpit patron community, get in on our Discord, and find out what the guys are doing Friday without me. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for the great conversation. Thank you for hanging out, talking about our favorite hobby, sport, common interest, that being sim racing. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.